I have always wondered what would make a perfect fan game. Is it the immersiveness of the story, the difficulty of the battles, or simply how good the game looks? While different players have different things they look out for in Pokemon fan games, I have found one that not only encapsulates all the aforementioned aspects, but also provides a fresh and unique spin on Pokemon. This story follows the protagonist racing his brother to see who can become the champion of the region and become a worthy heir to their mother. The battles in this game are more intricately designed and difficult. For example, unlike normal trainer battles where once you defeat them they leave, the trainers in this game stay until you beat them flawlessly with no deaths. The gym battles actually feel like a challenge as they have full teams and the game itself looks absolutely stunning. This game has its very own regional forms, new moves, abilities, new battle mechanics, and balancing. Mega Evolution and Gigantamax forms become permanent evolutions, making some Pokemon much more viable, and overall, the game seems to be super unique. This game is Pokemon Tectonic, and I will be playing the game and sharing my experience with you guys. Before we begin, make sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel as only 2% of my viewers are subscribed, and it would be greatly appreciated if you hit that red button. I arrive in the Makia region and alight at Kasaba village where I am greeted by Professor Tamarind. She ushers me into her lab and tells me how she owes my family a favor and how she is returning it by setting me off with a Pokemon. She first gives me a Master Dex, which has literally every information you need, from evolution methods to type matchups. Now is probably a good time to mention type matchups have been altered to make things more balanced. My starter options are Krabby, Numel, and Bounsweet. I picked Krabby as I really wanted to make the most of the feature where Mega and Gigantamax forms are now permanent new evolutions. Also, it could help me become fond of the otherwise overlooked Pokemon and Gigantamax form. I named my Krabby Crustacean. The professor also gives me another selection of Pokemon, the options being Patrat, Zigzagoon, and Skwovet. I picked Zigzagoon and named it Xena. She sets me up with a Rematerializer, which is a Machian invention that basically makes every single-use item become infinite. As I'm about to leave, the professor wishes me good luck and asks me to tell my mother that they're even. It seems my mother is an influential person in Makia, but let's not dwell on that for now. It's time to begin my journey. It seems the place I'm at isn't mainland Makia. There's a gym here, but its leader seems to be occupied with something else. I can't reach him directly because the path is blocked off by a rock. I head north of the town and into the forest. This guy gives me an EXP Easy Dispenser. Basically what it does is it stores all the excess EXP I gain after reaching the level cap. You can then convert them into EXP candies, which basically mitigates grinding altogether. I catch myself a Ralts and head to the foreclosed tunnel. I pick up the dynamite item at the end of the cave, which I can use to take down the rock blocking the path. Before I leave, I catch myself a Trapinch and a Litwick. I went ahead to tackle the beach trainers and honestly, I was pretty overwhelmed with how difficult it was to perfect the battles. I caught myself a Riolu back at the forest to strengthen my squad and headed to the cave at the end of the beach. There I met the gym leader who needed some help. In this region, there are alpha Pokemon which are extremely dangerous to the people. He was actually trying to stop the Alpha Vigoroth attacking the cave, trying being the operative word as he got overconfident and lost the fight. I volunteered to take it down and with the combined efforts of Riolu, Krabby, and Ralts, I managed to take it down. Lambert, the gym leader, thanks me and invites me to his gym. While heading there, I encountered a Machian Goldeen. Intrigued by the new Pokemon, I caught it and named it Miranha, replacing my Zigzagoon. My brother also called me and basically we reinforced our sibling rivalry with the conversation. Finally, it was time for the gym. And surprisingly, even for me, I managed to take down all of Lambert's Pokemon without losing a single Pokemon of my own. I get my badge and a cool little report as the professor calls me to talk with her. I meet up with her and she basically talks about how the region was founded by Team Chasm. They developed the whole area but were taken down by a rampaging kid. Most officials I meet are going to be ex-Chasm members. Why she's telling me this? Well, she makes it clear she wants to be in my good books. It turns out I have a butler named Alondra. She has taken the initiative to renovate my Poke Estate for my use as I'm taking on the Machian Gym Challenge. Essentially, it's an interactive box system. Seriously though, how rich am I? I made my way to the new town Feebasfin where I caught myself a Machian Wurmple. I named it Mist and replaced Ralts for it. I headed north of the town and as I was battling the trainers, Krabby evolved into a Kingler and Wurmple evolved into a Machian Cascoon. I also caught a Machian Sentret on the route which I named Astral, replacing my Trapinch for it. As I'm about to enter the next town, this mysterious trainer stops me and blocks my way, only moving aside if I beat her in battle. I do just that, and she doesn't really give me much information to work with, so for now, I just forget about her and move on. I decide to help out the town a bit by helping the people and Pokemon out. There's this guy who somehow has an Alpha Alolan Graveler in his home, so I help him out by defeating it. There is also an apartment building here where at the top floor, Absol here seems to be fighting with an Alpha Absolus, which is essentially a Mega Absol. I decide to help the Absol out, and together with Absol, Cascoon, Goldeen, and Kingler, I managed to take out the Absolus. I didn't expect to be getting the feels from a Pokemon game, especially this early on, but Absol here seems to have been scared of the Absolus, and as I pet it on its head and decide to catch it, it forms a faint smile. That is so heartwarming. I named it Blade, the name being inspired by the return of Blade in Deadpool and Wolverine, where Wesley Snipes returns to his Blade character. I replace Litwig for it as I head towards the gym. Gym leader time, this time specializing in poison and fire types. It was an end-to-end battle and certainly not like my first gym fight where I won without losing a single Pokemon. This fight ended with only Riolu and Kingler surviving, the latter nearly about to go down to poison damage. It is what it is, and with that victory I get my second gym badge, a battle report, and a team snapshot. I leave the gym as my brother Zane calls me and does his usual trash talk, saying I won't make it to where he is and eventually hanging up the phone. Before I press forward and leave Novo Town, I stumble upon this student at the Novo College that wants to trade her regional Vulpix for either Yamper or Baneri because her parents don't approve of the Machkin Vulpix because it's supposed to be really mean. She assures me that her Vulpix isn't mean and coincidentally the route east of Novo has Wild Yamper. I caught one to trade for the Vulpix, which had the nickname Mary. It's a Ghost and Steel type, which is an extremely rare typing. I do lack a fire type now, and while there is a starter shop at Novo, I don't have the required fire token. I clear out an avatar Nidorino that's blocking the path, and after doing so, this random guy approaches me. Apparently he wasn't trapped by the Nidorino, he was just chilling. He suggests that people have become jaded as these avatar Pokemon are magical creatures, but people only really focus on how dangerous they are. It was nice to see a new perspective, and it makes me wonder, why are these avatar Pokemon attacking the Machkin region? I arrive at this quaint town simply referred to as Gross. Here I find a lady who is defending a fire, water, and grass token. This is extremely good for me because now I have starter options to boost my team's overall usability. I got my team trained up to the level cap, which allowed Riolu to evolve into a Lucario. Even so, this battle was not easy. I did manage to get the dub eventually, but I lost a lot along the way. It came down to a double leech seed stall by Absol's planned doubt move to get the win and get the tokens, so I was thrilled when I finally got the win. I immediately benched Maki and Goldeen for Chari the Torchic because Goldeen's fairy type overlapped with Absol's fairy type. I really wanted to use Absol because of the side quest we did earlier. I also replaced Maki and Sentret with the Trapinch I had earlier. Along the way to Luxtech campus, which is where the next gym is, Torchic evolved into a Combusken and Trapinch evolved into a Vibrava. I reached the campus and talked with the receptionist at Luxtech to schedule a gym fight. Helena, the gym leader, arrives and recognizes me as Mavis's child. She comments about how the gym schedule is packed and I won't be able to get a battle anytime soon. She also mentions that I'm chasing my brother, but I simply tell her that he isn't relevant right now. She doesn't believe me, but decides that if I can retrieve some lost Luxtech goods from Gigalith's guts, she'll battle me ASAP. The task is dangerous, but Professor Tamarin advocated for me that I tend to take up dangerous tasks, which is enough for Helena to give me the task. The place is filled with avatar Pokemon, which explains why the task is dangerous in the first place. So, this trainer in Gigalith's guts needed some help with healing his Pokemon, and upon helping him, it turns out he's training Fione. It's a bit bizarre that he trusted me, seeming as we are from the very untrustworthy Machkin region, but nevertheless he introduces himself as Iphion, and well, he thanks me and then leaves the place, but he seems like a pretty prominent character, so let's keep an eye on him for now. I find this X-Chasm base, and upon poking around, I run into the kid with the Togekiss. He battles me once again, and upon defeating him, he decides to tag along to defeat the avatar Pokemon in this cave. He tries to stir up conversation, but it is pretty blatant that he is timid and, well, doesn't have any friends. Eventually, I find the Luxtech goods and, well, The guy just starts to sputter vague stuff. He tells me to take the Chasm keycard in the parcel and implies that he used to use it. He then finally introduces himself as Ysera before he gets overwhelmed by his own words and runs off. I guess it's time for the gym fight. My team is not suitable for Helena's water and electric type, so I temporarily benched Kingler and brought Chloro the Trico with a grass token. I evolved it into a Grovyle and decided to challenge Helena. Grovyle was useful with its matchups against Lantern and Luxio, but the MVP was definitely Combusken, taking both Luxio and her Ace Toxtricity out, hanging on with 4 HP. Insanely clutch, and that performance gives us the Patience badge. My brother calls and tells me he's won the 6th badge. Of course, he goes on about how it's gonna get more difficult and that I should quit, and even makes a snide comment about how he'll meet me at the championships when I'm in the stands. What a clown. So, between the new starters I bought and the Pokemon I already had in the team and box, I felt like I was shuffling my team too much. I even went back to Gigalet's Guts to catch a Machian Rock'n'Roller who I named Symbiote. I put some thought into it and decided I would fix my team in 6 members with differing types, but also keep the Pokemon in the box trained up so I can rotate the team in tough battles. The main team consisted of Crustacean the Kingler, Chari the Combusken, Mary the Machian Vulpix, Blade the Absol, Chloro the Grovyle, and Symbiote the Machian Rock'n'Roller, who soon evolved into a Boldore. I did a bunch of exploring, which included visiting this icy town called Sveikt, trekking through Rapora Forest, and eventually making my way to Valence, the next gym location. The place looked so unkempt, which was made even more clear as when I tried to heal at the Pokemon Center, the Nurse Joy turned into a Zoroark. Yikes. I got through that thankfully, and after some digging, I learned that the gym leader here isn't really supportive of the Machian League system, as he believes that just results in kids risking their lives even more. I can't argue with that, but my mother's company is on the line, so I had to push through. The gym leader has locked himself away, and to get to him, I have to get 4 digit slips around the town to unlock the lock and challenge him. Getting the digit slips were tricky as I had to battle Avatar Magma, a type-changing Avatar Saucebuck, an angry plant lady, and a random kid blocking the path. I even took down this crazy difficult Avatar Miss Magus in my efforts. I took my digit slips, unlocked the lock, and challenged the gym leader Raphael. He's just constantly shit-talking the league idea and Machia, but battles me anyway. It turns out, in order to defeat him, I just had to stop his Oricorio and Marowak from hitting the field together. This is to avoid the crazy boost they get from their abilities, Ancestral Dance and Dancer. I did just that and claimed the victory to get my 4th badge, which means I'm halfway through the gym challenge. I exit the gym and coincidentally, Professor Tamarin hits my line to congratulate me for winning my 4th gym badge. I asked her how she even knew I did it, which she replied saying she was friends with a gym leader and the commanding officer for the people that keep track of Raphael, the gym leader I just fought, so apparently word gets around pretty quick. She tells me I'm gonna need to be able to surf if I want to progress even further in my gym challenge. As per usual, she requests an even exchange, which entails me taking out an Avatar Steelix wreaking havoc at Gruz for her helping me out with the surf issue. I go get the Steelix job dealt with, after which Tamarin tells me to meet her at Helena's place west of Luxtech. She also tells me to bring my team because there's another visitor there. A bit annoying, but nothing too bad. Turns out the guest was in fact Ysera. She seems slightly relieved that the guest was me and challenges me to a fight. I accept of course, and the battle MVP was undoubtedly Kingler as it took down her final 2 Pokemon to get me the victory. Interestingly, I got a battle report for this fight, which is cool and all, helps me increase the level cap, but usually you're only given them after beating gym leaders. Ysera seems comfortable with me as she talks about how easy it is to talk to me. Tamarin shows up and complains that the 2 of the strongest trainers she knows couldn't even mess up Helena's place properly. She then introduces Ysera and myself to each other, referring to me as the future champion and Ysera as a former champion. Huge lore drop. Explains why I got a battle report from her. She's kind of an official trainer. Ysera quickly departs after not being able to handle both myself and Tamarin socially. Professor Tamarin then lore drops me by saying Ysera was the kid that took down Team Chasm. Whoa! She was also the first Machian champion, which is crazy, but expected honestly. She hands me the surfboard, which allows me to surf now, but before she leaves, she tells me to eat some food from Helena's house because, she's petty I guess. So I help myself to some delightful cheesecake. Anyway, I got a bunch of evolutions back to back, which involved Kingler to Clawsaur, Combusken to Blaziken, and Growball to Sceptile. I even backtracked to use my survivability to get a Duskstone, which allowed me to get Machop Vulpix to evolve into a Machop Ninetales. I progressed northward as I meet up with Amphion again, the guy with the Fion. He challenges me to a practice fight and kinda shares the trainer experiences and stuff. With all that being done, I head up to see Terrakion blocking the path like no one's business. Naturally, since I'm the GOAT. I took it down and made my way to Prisca West. I took on the gym almost immediately, which is led by two leaders that don't seem to like each other. Honestly, it kind of showed in battle as well. They had zero chemistry. I focused my attacks on the left side to eliminate him from the battle entirely. This allowed me a 2v1 situation against the remaining Pokemon the other gym leader had, and with the number advantage, I cruised through and won myself the gym badge. With the new level cap, I got Absol to evolve into Absolus and Machop Boulder to evolve into Gigalith. As soon as I exited the gym, I got interrupted by my brother, but not by a phone call this time, by his actual presence. This guy had an insane lead on me, and now I've just caught up with him, which is honestly diabolical. We have a battle, and mate, how have you made it this far? Liepard, Donphan, and Frostmoth at this stage of the game is crazy. Blaziken does its thing with 3 consecutive knockouts, and with that we win the fight. He throws a tantrum claiming that I'm always better than him and runs off. Now I just feel bad, man. So I basically did a side quest off camera helping Candy here with breaking into a hooligan's home and retrieve stolen Pokemon. I'm pretty sure that's what we did. Anyway, people are chasing her for another robbery she committed, and basically she needs me as a distraction and gives me the option to battle or kiss her. Listen, I don't want to battle right now, for no particular reason. I just really want to save time. So, I kissed her. She gets all flustered and I guess she blended in. This is a reverse Captain America Black Widow situation. Safe to say, she enjoyed that, because if she didn't, we might be going to a penitentiary. I head through Battle Plaza, which connects East and West Prisca, even meeting a former Machop champion along the way. I reach East Prisca and talk to this incredibly base Nurse Joy. I'ma let her enjoy her off time as now I have a gym to fight. The East Prisca Gym. It was a good challenge to test my team, but my team just played off each other really well, setting up knockouts for Absol for the early triple kill, including a shiny Metagross I might add, and for Sceptile in a super aggressive fashion, dealing as much damage with other Pokemon and then trusting in Sceptile's speed to rack up the final 3 knockouts. I get my badge shortly, and when I exit the gym, Cameron calls me, urging me to meet her at the catacombs under Prisca, which I can access using the sewers. I ask no further questions, and she ends off by telling me to bring my best team because things could get ugly. I began clearing through the sewers, even bumping into an Avatar Cobalion on the way. Eventually, I linked up with Cameron as she sets the scene for me. In the past, Team Chasm used the Regis to dominate the region, and since then, all of the Regis have been sealed away in circuit-like catacombs across the region to prevent that from happening again. Tamarin was in fact Regidrago's user, whose catacomb we are currently in. Apparently, someone is trying to free Regidrago. It is unclear who or why, but essentially our job is so it doesn't escape as that thing was sealed for a reason. We walk towards the perpetrators, and lo and behold, it is Yazera. She doesn't attempt to lie to us as she simply tells her grunts, I assume, to complete the extraction of Regidrago. Tamarin is too dumbfounded to speak as she chases after the grunts, which leaves Yazera and I to talk. We have a conversation which really goes nowhere as she's gonna battle me and I need to survive. You know it's deep when the timid character tells their Pokemon to go easy on me, and if I pose too much of a threat, to crush me. Even her battle exudes boss music. It's not even a typical battle, bro. It's literally a survivor match, seeing if I can last 9 turns. It was horrible. I cannot imagine anyone doing a Nuzlocke run for this game because this is crazy. My whole team barring Clawsaur got cooked. She ends the battle having bought all the time she needed and departs. Tamarin managed to take out a grunt, but she was overpowered by the second one. She heals my team and tells me to deal with one of the grunts that stayed up ahead. This guy seems to be important, shit talks me, and his name is Silver, which gives off important character energy. I defeat him like I always do and approach Tamarin. She gives me the backstory of Team Chasm. Alright, first off, we have no clue on why Ysera pulled this off, but what we do know is that Team Kazan was formed by two people called Andres and Mavis. The catacombs in Makia were an open secret which held the Regis and minerals, which they wanted to leverage, which caused Chasm to be established. Helena, the third gym leader, wanted to run her own region, Andres wanted to cut on the big-time organized crime, and Tamarin wanted to study the Regis. People advised against researching the Regis, but as Reggie Drago as her enforcer, she got to do as she pleased. They discovered the other Regis and also learned their inscriptions, which led them to Regigigas. At that point, they were playing with fire, and it was evident to see the consequence of pursuing this would be dire. Ysera at the time came in to put the final nail in the coffin, but not before Chasm used Regigigas' power to create dangerous ethereal Pokemon. And while not explicitly stated, she's probably referring to the Avatar Pokemon. Team Chasm then sealed away all of the Regis and went legit. For now, Tamarin promises to get together all of the ex-Chasm guys to figure out what's going on and gets me to deal with any above-ground confrontation. She also gives me the climbing gear, so now I have even more of the region opened up. More specifically, I'm talking about Sweet Rock Harbor, which is east of East Priska. I came across this house when I was traveling to Sweet Rock and found out this guy. Not only is he a former champion, but also he has a lot of avatar Pokemon under his house disturbing him. I agreed to help clear them out and even defeated an avatar Diancie while doing so. I finally reached Sweet Rock and... Okay, so there's this guy who's no doubt a part of Ysera's crew asking me to hear them out. He gets super philosophical about creating a world where we can all be forgiven, but then immediately challenges me to a fight just because I said I'll think about what he said, which he then replies to saying that I don't have time to think so. Okay, sure. Little does he know, of course I have time. I'm the protagonist. Anyhow, I cook this guy like I've always done to Ysera's people, and because of this, his Regirock flees. I didn't expect to win anyway. Man, shut up, bro. Anyway, gym time, and this gym is a fairy steel type which is immediately fear-inducing. This gym was spearheaded by Sceptile and Gigalith. Sceptile sets up sword stance to beat the elite Blastoise, Bronzong, and damage Mawile all on red health. It does go down, but I have the numbers advantage, and from here, I just trade Pokemon to take out her Altaria and Mismagius while Gigalith can easily deal with the remaining Mawile and Seaking. I got the badge and headed towards the last gym, which is all the way back at the Gigalith's guts in the Team Chasm headquarters. I met my brother outside the gym and we have a friendly chat. Basically, the gym leader is out, a sign being placed outside the gym stating she's dealing with some ruckus at the dig site. Of course, my brother and I go to check it out to see that the gym leader is completely laid out on the floor, seemingly hurt. My brother tells me to go deal with the threat as I'm a better duelist while he tends to the gym leader. I'm actually surprised he openly called me better. Anyhow, it's one of Ysera's goons and I'm pretty sure all of them have names, but genuinely they don't do anything substantial for me to remember it. I do remember this guy in particular though. He's the guy that shit talks me and the one I called a potentially important character. Yeah, he's just essentially a grunt. And he lost to me in incredible fashion. I took out his Registeel early, but then he managed to kill off all of my team but Absol and Sceptile. Sceptile gets one before going down, but Absol pulls off a 1v4 out of nowhere. It takes out Chatot, goes to red health because Wigglytuff uses Uproar, takes out Wigglytuff because of its ability Vengeance, which is effectively Rough Skin, one-shots Crocodile, and defeats the paralyzed Exploud in the back. One of the most clutchest performances ever. Me and my brother also talked things out, eventually calling off the competition between us set by our mother. There's still some animosity between us, but nothing that we can chalk up to simple sibling rivalry. We'll definitely see him in the championships. He wishes me good luck in saving the world, which is nice. Cool to see both characters growing, but right now I can't think of that because I have a lot on my plate right now. For starters, I have the last gym to face. This gym was a lot more of a team effort, but the MVP was definitely Makia Ninetales, picking up 4 kills both at the beginning and at the end of the fight. With that, I have everything I need to go to the championship. I head to Priska for the championship, but Professor Tamarin calls me to deal with the Ysera situation first. There's been a confirmed sighting of her in White Bloom, which is her hometown. My job is to get there and deal with it, come back for the championship, and have a well-deserved end of the journey. If only if it was that simple. Anyway, I see Ysera menacingly standing atop this cliff, which is super imposing, I cannot lie. Okay, look, I'm making my way to Ysera, right? And a bunch of things happen. I meet my girlfriend in the game and I'm sorry. I can't say that with a straight face. My bad. Anyway, she tells me that she's been snooping around White Bloom and has some dirt on Tamarind. Basically, she and Team Chasm were the ones that caused Valence to become a quote-unquote ghost town. She wants to get revenge, but spoiler alert, I cannot do that. Basically, Candy's quest line is a side quest. Later on, when I do the big climax of the main story and stuff, you can't do the side quest anymore after that, and yeah, not only does Candy's questline abruptly end, so does Iphyon's questline with Fion. Tragic. I don't understand the point of locking the side quest before the end of the main story, but I can't do anything about it. Further on the route, I find an Avatar Togekiss, which has to be Ysera's Togekiss. The thematic elements of this section of the game has been great. Ysera's Togekiss being one of them, of course, but we fight Ysera's grunts again, speak to Ysera's mom, and learn some stuff about her, and most importantly, we fight Ysera herself in her own hometown. This fight has been built up beautifully in this segment of the game, but I conquered it pretty easily. Absolus didn't even need to hit the floor as I won the battle 5 against 6. It was refreshing to have a simpler fight, especially after the previous two gym leaders. It is here that we find out Ysera's true intention with Regigigas. She wants to create a world without human rule. She has been hounded with paparazzi after saving the region and that left her feeling unappreciated. To fix that, she wants to create a world without human rule, where Pokemon are the ones in power, and since she understands Pokemon much more compared to the humans, she can become the quote-unquote shadow behind the throne. She proclaims that all she really wants is peace for herself, and doesn't want to live in a world ruled by people she's terrified of. She invites me to head to Regigigas' chamber after the championships to potentially stop her, and then departs. Now that she's gone, I'm not really one to downplay societal pressures, especially that of a famous person, but that has got to be the most stupid, selfish motivation from an antagonist I have ever heard. Literally, anyone else with average social skills would still manage to live a good life after saving a region. I don't know, man. I know anxiety and depression is a real thing, and I know this is just a Pokemon game, but it just pisses me off that her motivation for removing human civilization entirely is because she can't deal with the paparazzi. Insane. At the very least, I get to put that whole fiasco on hold as I try to become champion. I arrive at Priska to head to the championships where the tournament had already began, but Helena, the third gym leader, managed to get me exempted from round 1 due to emergency circumstances. This is Tamarind's fingerprints all over it. The rules for the championship state that I cannot change the order of any of my Pokemon once I enter, and I cannot change the held items in between rounds. This game has already been so difficult, and not having a favorite lead every time now was a detriment. Either way, here we go. Our opponent for round 2 was in fact the second gym leader Echo. We were able to get by with no issues, largely thanks to Maki and Gigalith picking up slack. Round 3 presented us Pro Trainer X as an opponent. He was a jerk, and I was thrilled that Maki and Gigalith came out big time again, and even when that Gardevoir was looking to be difficult, its very own Life Orb damage managed to knock it out, handing me that sweet, sweet victory. In your face. In the quarterfinals, I faced Pokemon Trainer Elisa, where Maki and Ninetales came in clutch to seal the deal at the end of the fight, coming up with 4 consecutive knockouts. Our semi-final match was Gym Leader Benz. He was definitely the greatest test that we've had to face so far, but Blaziken was able to come in clutch thanks to its ability Pecking Order, where it isn't affected by flying moves, turning the momentum in my favor and completing the 1v3 comeback. Our finals matchup was, to no one's surprise, my brother Zane. We exchanged a few words, particularly about him wanting closure and pursuing something for himself rather than for our mother. In any case, it was time to fight. Zane was super annoying to fight because of this thing right here, Ferrothorn. Only Blaziken could deal super effective damage to it, and recognizing that, he would always switch out to potentially weaken Blaziken or set up spikes when Blaziken wasn't out on the field. It was infuriating. His plan did work as my Blaziken was spread thin to deal with the various members of his team, dealing with the likes of Sensibel, Empoleon, and Superior, but not before taking significant damage, making it risky to switch in when Zane has spikes active. Absolus was able to pick up the slack, and with the combination of Swords Dance, boosted Sever, and Vengeance damage, I was able to take it down. Absolus also went down to Iron Barb's damage, but that was no longer an issue because my Clawstar was able to get the double kill, winning us the battle. I am now officially the champion, but job's not done.
Job's not finished.
After some brotherly love amongst Zayn and I couldn't even have my coronation done because Tamron had her guys alert and escort me past the crowd to deal with the Yazera situation. Well, now it's time for the true climax of the story. I arrive at the hollowed lair where her friends are guarding the entrance to the tomb that Yazera is holed up in. I've defeated them many times before, so this time wasn't going to be any different. This Sang guy has been pissing me off so much after doing a whole lot of nothing. Basically, he proclaims that Yazera was so close to achieving what she wanted. All she had to do was use her, in his words, redeeming quality by not being human enough to tell me about it. He then says he'll deal with her once she deals with me, which is laughable. I stand in front of Yazera and her avatar Regigigas, slightly intimidating, but it is overridden by the sheer stupidity that comes out of Yazera's mouth. When I tell her to stop this, she replies saying that she didn't want to throw away her only chance at happiness.
Boy, if you don't suck on my neck.
Anyway, she leaves the avatar Regigigas to deal with me, and it took a lot of attempts, and I mean a lot, to get this fight done. Eventually, Leech Seed along with my last 3 Pokemon on Red and Paralyzed was what it took to get it done. I asked the Regigigas for help, which it did by letting me catch it. I ain't using it though because I'm pretty attached to my team right now. I enter the Path to Paradise, the name itself already giving me chills. It was slightly trippy because I had to fight another version of Zayn with Giratina, another version of Tamron with Mewtwo and Blacephalon, and another version of Pokemon Trainer Elisa with Eternatus. She has some sort of relationship with Yazera which I haven't completely explored, so I don't know what was that all about, having her presence in the Path to Paradise, but oh well. After I got that done, I reached where Yazera was at Nascan Garden, or Nassen Garden, I'm not sure. Hi, it's Random Shanjay live here, and I'm gonna be playing this live for you guys. So yeah, I'm gonna challenge Yazera. I can't. Of course you can. Not one more day. Vestiges of a future, blah blah blah. I know, at this point I don't really care. She has some sort of relationship with Pokemon Trainer Elisa, which I haven't fully explored, but it is what it is. Now she wants to stop me, and she just names every single trainer and says that we aren't afraid of them. And then she pauses. Oh, okay, what does that mean? Mamus, come. That is. So basically, she didn't know what I was afraid of, and she's like, "Oh, I'm gonna bring out your mother." Okay, that's a bit creepy. As there's a black specter of a ghost. That's hilarious, actually. And that looks like one of the Team Galactic admin sprites, if I'm being honest. And we got a Taunt and Tired Stars as her lead. I have Blaziken and Absol. I'm gonna switch into my symbiote, Maki and Gigalith. And then she's gonna switch out her Tyranitar, which is expected because I have Absol on the field, and I go for the Source Dance. Dazzling Gleam, I guess kinda take it. Blade isn't doing so well. We got the Citrus Berry healing. We got Gigalith out for the Togekiss, so that could be good. We could lower the Togekiss's stats with Singing Stone. So, okay, we have a good matchup right now. Gonna go Humble and Singing Stone. Singing Stone does half, lowers your attack stats, and then Humble will land on the Gardevoir, doing more than half, which is good. Survive Dazzling Gleam, Vengeance. Okay, sets up Light Screen. That's not good. Singing Stone will kill off the Togekiss now, but Mocking Gigalith is nerfed for like 7 turns, I think I read. And then Humble on Tired Stars. Absolus is a physical attacker, so nothing affected there. And then she sends back out her Tyranitar and Frostmoth called Well Wishes. Okay. Is Frostmoth really busted in this game? I swear I saw my brother Zane use it as well in one of our battles. We're gonna Singing Stone the Frostmoth, and yeah, that does nothing because of the light screen. Oh my goodness. Humble Sword Stance boosted Humble will take down the Tyranitar. Okay, Absol is putting in work right now. Icy Wind will probably finish off Absolus. Symbiote will survive, and Dispose of this one. It doesn't deserve its position. She just told me to get rid of one of my Pokemon because it died. That's a bit messed up. I cannot lie. Anyway, who am I gonna bring out? I'm thinking Blaziken because Frostmoth is on the field, but it might switch out. I already KO'd the Tyranitar. We're gonna bring in our Closaur for neutral damage, and it's a physical attacker, so I could Meteor Mash, so there's a higher chance of the Frostmoth not switching. I've kind of forced myself to learn this AI, it's crazy. Switch out Closaur. An error was encountered, what? Okay, I read something there. I don't know what happened there, but okay. Bug Buzz into Mocking Gigalith and it goes down. I could try setting up with Mocking Ninetales here because Lopunny can hit me with fighting type moves or normal type moves essentially, and Frostmoth is about to die because Blaziken is gonna outspeed hopefully. No, it does not. Close combat lands on Blaziken, lowers his stat, and okay, Frostmoth goes down. Flash Cannon will finish it off despite the light screen. Still does decent amount of damage. We have Brick Break to break the light screen, and then Lopunny will go down. Okay, this is huge for us. Oden and Luxray. So Closaur could be a move, but Luxray is on that. I need to get rid of Luxray if I want to bring back Closaur onto the field. So we're gonna Brick Break the Luxray. Shadow Ball the Chandelure, almost taking it down. That's a lot of damage. Brick Break still hears, by the way. The Luxray's name is still hears. I don't know what that means. Is that like a message? Are the names telling me a message? I haven't been paying attention. And yeah, both of my Pokemon go down. This is not looking good at all. Okay, Crustacean will come out. Sceptile will come out. Sceptile has really good speed in this game. So we're gonna take down the Luxray hopefully before it does any serious damage onto Closaur. And our Crustacean Closaur will try to take down the Chandelure if it can survive. The Luxray X-Scissor lands, doesn't take it out. Photon Edge almost takes down Closaur. X-Scissor will take down the Luxray, so we got that out of the way. Chandelure will Energy Ball. Okay. I read that completely wrong. But we have Broken Ribs and Oden. I'm gonna get rid of the Broken Ribs first because I don't think Oden can do much right now. Burning Jealousy. We take that and we're faster. We win. Easy. Let's go. Rend. There we go. We've done it. Defeated Pokemon Trainer Yazera and Shadow Mavis. That was fun. That was extremely hilarious. Oh, the thing you're most afraid of is bring out your mother. The specter of my mom shows up to glaze me, but she also tells me to ditch Yazera because she tried to destroy the world because of her social anxiety. That's exactly what I said. But alas, I'm the good guy, so I forgive Yazera as she crumbles in front of me. I even confessed my love for her, which was incredibly funny. The dialogue for this game is top notch. She chose to not examine that too closely and asked to be left alone in the Nazcan garden for a bit. I leave as my mother calls me, glazing my achievements and putting down Zane. I told her firmly that I was not coming with her and following in her footsteps, in which she replies asking if I was eloping. That genuinely made me chuckle. I hang up the phone, and with that concludes Pokemon Tectonic. We still have our coronation left, which Tamarin sets up with nobody there. Zane and his new girlfriend take it over though, and we have a nice bonding experience. Two things I want to say for this game before I'm done. One was that I really loved the difficulty and the rebalancing of the game. It was so much fun and so fresh. Two was the dialogue between characters are elite. Only criticism I have is that I didn't like Zera's motivation for destroying the world, but other than that, this game was great. If you guys enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like and subscribe, and yeah, see you guys next week. Bye.